I'd like to thank Sue for inviting me. She said she was looking for somebody professional, digitised and articulate. Couldn't find one of those, so you've got me instead. A little bit about what we've done and what we've gone through, and be clear, this audience, congratulations, you're here, you get it. The industry is becoming more and more and more digitised. You look what's happening in the US, just following what Ian said, they are ahead of us, and I think they're getting further ahead of us. So we've taken some decisions at Cambria to make some changes that have focused very much on the guest, but also, be clear, through lockdown 1, lockdown 2 and lockdown 3, the key thing for us was making sure the safety and well-being of our associates was number one priority, and second priority being the safety and well-being of our consumers stroke guests. So just keep those things at the back of your mind while I whiz through this, unfortunately, 457 slide presentation. So what's happening in the marketplace today? What do we do in lockdown 1, lockdown 2, reset, what we did to get the business future-proof and how we went forward. Won't spend too much time on this one. We are in an enormous period of change. The last 18 months has just been absolutely extraordinary, and the speed of change is only going to accelerate. I believe we'll see more change in the next 5 years than we've seen in the previous 100. So just keep those things at the front of your mind while you're in your business on a daily basis. So some of the things that we've all dealt with in these last 18 months. Boris telling us how to run our businesses, as Ian said so. We then had to make sure we gave a very clear message to our associates and to our guests that we will make it safe to serve you. We don't apologise for saying that you won't shake hands with one of our associates anymore. If we don't have consumer trust, the chances of executing are minimal. And we've communicated this on all our omni-channel, so as soon as somebody connects with one of our businesses, whether it be Dee's, whether it be Motor Parks, whether it be Grange, whether it be Doves, it doesn't matter. The messaging is consistent. We're trying to help our guests, and we're trying to recognise those people who've taken us through this dreadful set of circumstances that we're going through currently. We've made sure that it's brand specific. And it doesn't matter whether you're buying a Rolls Royce from us or a Fiat 500. It has to be targeted, it has to be clear, it has to be informed, and the consumer must be in a position where they feel safe to come and communicate with you. Just going to show you a brief video, which I'll only let run conscious of time, for the first minute. If you go on our website, any one of our websites, you can click on this, and this is one of the first things you'll see.
Range. The safety and well-being of our guests and associates is of paramount importance to us. During the current COVID-19 pandemic, we have implemented a social distancing policy across all of our dealerships. For your protection, as you arrive at our dealership, all guests and associates will have their temperature taken. Hand sanitizer, disposable face masks and gloves will be available for our guests. For your safety during your visit, we have installed an easy-to-follow one-way system, and we would ask you to observe the 2-metre Grange social distancing guidelines whilst in the dealership. Please observe any guidance where cues may...
Gives you a taste of what we're about, what's happening. None of that stuff has changed in our businesses today. You can look on our websites, we have not changed. This pandemic isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We consider safety and well-being of our associates and our guests to be the absolute epicentre of everything we do. So making sure we have that communication, and has it made a difference to the consumers? Just a couple of bits of feedback that we've had around the experience that our guests have had, and just making ourselves easier to do business with. We've faced things collectively over the last 18 months, the likes of which we couldn't have comprehended. But as all the speakers have said so far, we've come through stronger because of it. So we'll bring the product to you. We'll make sure you can have a home test drive. We stayed open all the way through, with the exception of, even in lockdown 1, we shut 4 of our smaller businesses. The only reasons we shut them was we couldn't get volunteers to operate those businesses. We respect that completely, because you can't put somebody in harm's way. At that point, we didn't know what we were dealing with. Both myself and all my directors attended the office every day, because we won't ask people to do something that we haven't done ourselves. We've made sure that the organisation is leaner, like you all have, that we're more agile and we're more guest focused. Ian, do you just want to stand up? Ian Godbold, he's our Marketing and Innovation Director. Give him a round of applause. He's a fragile little chap. Ian has really helped us guide through this reopening and been through the hassle that we've been through over this last 18-month period. We've made sure that we'd have a 5 o'clock call with all our operators just to get an update of where we are in the business unit, and made sure I'm on to my podcast 68. So every one of our associates sees me every 2 weeks without fail, giving them an update, what's happening in the business, where we're going and how we're doing things. We've also made sure that we've come to the conclusion we're going to sell less. Okay? With the semiconductor issue that's coming in, the quality of that transaction becomes crucial. But if we're not ringing people back and we're not responding to the voicemail and we're not looking at the vehicle detail page report, all of those tighter controls disappear. So our communication with our database, we've got 431,000 people who've either purchased a car, maintained a car, or purchased a part from us. What a great position to be in for us to steer our way through the pandemic. So as we move forward, we're utilising different ways of getting in front of our guests. Email being critical, making sure we're engaged on a consistent basis, and of course we're all just walking into the MOT tsunami after the government delay. So we're still about response time and the good habits, and honestly, I think in our business some of those good habits are beginning to slip away again because there's a perception that the pandemic's gone away. It's not. And it isn't anytime soon. So click, collect, drive, critical part of what we're doing, and making sure no deposit to reserve online. That's caused us some headaches. But it's also given a great guest experience. And don't forget, on top of everything else in our organisation, we refer to, there's a guest at the end of everything we do. Reserve online with no deposit, click and collect, all things that you're already into and up with. And we can absolutely see the transformation that the pandemic has brought as to how we interact with our consumers, and as importantly, how we interact with our associates. So if we haven't got delighted associates, there's going to be no way of them delighting consumers. Now, a couple of other videos. One or two of you may recognise the gentleman second place on this particular slide, Darren Turner. You probably know we're one of the largest Aston Martin retailers in the world, and Darren has won Le Mans 3 times on behalf of Aston Martin. So we asked Darren if he'd do a little bit of work for us that every one of our consumers could view when they come and look for an Aston Martin on the Grange website.
My name is Darren Turner. I've been very fortunate to be a key member of the Aston Martin racing team, a partnership that's seen me win the toughest race of them all, the Le Mans 24 Hours, 3 times. I've worked with Grange Aston Martin for many years now, and I'm extremely proud to be an ambassador for them. Grange have over 65 years within the motor industry and have been selling and servicing Aston Martin since 1958, with 4 UK dealers in Birmingham.
So it's just giving you a taste that it's content, because if we don't get the click, there's no chance of getting the opportunity. If we can't reserve and get to the guest, chances are they're going to be clicking on somebody else's, and that personalised video gives us a chance to do just that. Key part of how we're operating going forward. Vehicle detail page, which as much information as possible to get the deep bait to make sure that there's a reason for the consumer to make contact with us. Doesn't matter what the brand is, it's got to be absolutely relevant, and you'll see some of the small print at the top of the reserve now. That small print just delves us deeper into the affiliate websites that we work with to make sure that as we digitise and as we bring more consumers towards us, by providing more information, it makes them want to make contact with us. As we get deeper and deeper and deeper, personal video, establish that rapport, no fear from the consumer, because ideally the person who sent the personal video is the person they're going to talk to. So operational support and making sure that we're working with our dealers. Listen, in lockdown 1, awful, we understand that. Sales operations really very difficult, but as long as we've got advanced VDP and deep quality, it is making a massive difference. And the central teams being out there not at home, not in their bedrooms, out there, recognising social distancing and keeping their hands clean and masks, that's where we're making a difference, because people are feeling awfully lonely given the challenges we've gone through on the pandemic. We're making sure, and this is just a demonstration and washing some of our dirty linen in public, you can see we've got a number of products that we've invested in that we haven't offered online yet. That's a dead investment. The consumer's got no idea. You can see the trend of what's happening, but as we move forward and get higher quality imagery and that personal touch from the individual who they can potentially talk to, does that make the consumer want to talk to us? Yes, but notwithstanding, we know that it's massive change. Martin Ross runs our Aston Martin business for us in Hatfield. Martin's nearly as old as me, and certainly as set in his ways as me, and this is Ian introducing Martin to new channels to market. So it's never too late to change. Just something for you to think about as you move forward. We've set up our own accessory shop, particularly for some of our high luxury products. Some of our OEM partners kindly dumped some interesting stuff in our parts operations that they suggest that we should retail. If we've got a shop, we've got access to it. Don't just take the part, put it in the parts department, wait till it gets too old, because when it arrives, it's relevant. And if we've got a shop to get to the guest, there's a chance. And remember, we've got 431,000 people we can talk to. So we're making sure we're enhancing all the time. The digital journey is changing all the time. The cost per click is now back and relevant. We're making sure that we are driving our own KPIs and challenging ourselves like never before. So, Engagement Pro, our internal system, not actually been developed by our IT team, it's been developed by the operational team, who were the sponsors, and facilitated by the IT team. We're getting smarter, we're missing less, we're looking what people are doing, and we're making sure we're relevant on a consistent basis. The vertical marketing strategy hasn't changed, it's evolved and will continue to evolve. And the key driver for us is VDP engagement, vehicle detail page. Everything else is bordering on irrelevant, but it's the content that puts the bait out that gives the consumer the opportunity to interact with us. We've reduced our cost per lead, we've optimized our stock on a more consistent basis, our UTM tagging is getting smarter, and we're actually all more efficient. You're in this room, so I know you are efficient because you can understand what's happening in our industry. The cost per lead coming down is making a massive difference, and as long as we enhance our customer relationship management, we will continue to prevail no matter what the new entrants are doing. I'm just going to make a sentence to you now, which is something for you to think about. It took us 5 years to sell 100,000 used vehicles. It took us year 7 to sell 100,000 used vehicles in a year. In Q2 this year, we sold 100,000 used vehicles in a quarter. That's Carvana in the United States. Go on their website and read their letter to their shareholders. They made $45 million in Q2. I'll make the sentence again. 0 to 5 years, we sold 100,000 cars. Year 7, we sold 100,000 cars. Q2, year 8, we sold 100,000 cars. Digitization going away? Absolutely not. So it's here, it's relevant, and it will only become more profound as Cinch and Kazoo become more and more active. So budgets, Ian will tell you, I'm very generous with his budgets. He has way too much to spend, and he doesn't optimize as much as he should do. So what's it forced Ian to do? It's forced us to be more future-proof. It's forced us to be more concentrated on what we're offering and forced us to be more prescriptive and opportunity. Cinch is the only opportunity we have to operate with one of the big guys who's going to eat our lunch if we're not careful. Kazoo will not allow you to put your inventory on their website. Cinch will. We've taken the decision we can't compete with them. We can't advertise on Coronation Street or Emmerdale Farm. We can't sponsor the England cricket team. They can. It's the only opportunity. You've got to work with them. We don't think we can beat them. There's still a space for omni-channel, absolute no ifs, buts, doubts about it. Cinch is a partner of the group, and we consider it to be a profitable partnership as we begin to integrate and get closer with them. So you can see that we're integrating more systems with WhatsApp into Engagement Pro, and you can see as we go forward, our omni-channel approach will become more and more digitized. We have to get smarter and smarter and smarter, and we have to learn from those who are better than us. We've got a small business that we consider to be quite good. We know we've got potential to be substantially better, but we'll only do that by learning from others. And I think being in here today, and as we stand together as a National Franchise Dealer Association, we will become stronger. But the headwinds aren't good. The headwinds are a little bit scary. If we can make sure that we manage our leads properly, if we can make sure that our digital interactions engage with the guests, and if we can make sure we keep it real, you can survive, you can prevail, and you can be absolutely more successful. Now, I apologise, I've probably overrun. Thank you for your time. Ian and I will be hanging around for 15, 20 minutes or so. Any questions, do feel free to come and see us, and enjoy your lunch. Thank you very much.